The people of Haiti laid to rest President Jovenel Moïse, who was assassinated in his home on July 7th. The funeral was a scene draped with protest, tension, and even violence. Foreign dignitaries, including an American delegation, left the funeral early due to safety concerns after gunshots were fired outside the funeral. Supporters of President Moïse displayed their disdain for Haiti's economic elite by shouting "Justice for Jovenel" as they entered the family compound in which the ceremony took place. Haiti's First Lady, Martine Moïse, also aimed at Haiti's elite and implicated the powerful families of Haiti as President Moïse's true assassins. As President Moïse has been laid to rest, there are still several questions surrounding his assassination. Who planned it? How was his security unarmed during the assassination? And what was the motive behind the killing? Here with me now is Laurent Dubois. He is the co-director of Democracy Initiative at the University of Virginia and author of Haiti, the Aftershocks of History. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. So, the funeral today, just paint us a picture of what's happening here. It feels a little bit like marshaling the populist anger against the establishment, even in the midst of the mourning. Are we reading that right, or how are you reading what happened today at the funeral?
Well, I think, yes, definitely. And I think the important thing for viewers to know is that, Moïse's assassination is part of a larger cycle of violence that's really been troubling over the last several months and really several years. Not that long ago, there was the assassination of a journalist, Diego Schal, and Antoinette Duclair, an activist. So there's been a lot of incredible tension, of which this assassination is a part. And I think maybe some hope that the funeral would be a moment of kind of unification around that. But clearly today you saw that those political tensions, will clearly continue beyond this event. And I think that's quite clear. And now the kind of blame game, is part of that.
The First Lady is blaming the Haitian elite, what we've gotten from the source, the police in Haiti, is that they're investigating this guy from Miami and whether or not he recruited the Colombians. It's very hard to figure out where the blame should lie, who to believe. What should we know at this point about motive and who is responsible for the assassination of the president?
I mean, the difficulty is that there are just so many different possibilities. Moïse had a lot of enemies. The situation, he was tied together with a lot of different kind of shady interests. And some of this feels like it could be more internal rather than external, people who had kind of been a lot allied with him who turned against him. But it's so complicated. The only thing that I would urge is in some ways not to believe almost anything. I think there's a lot of layers to this story that are going to unfold. It's true that the U.S. connection is interesting, I think, to think about, but there's so many different players here. It was interesting to me that the First Lady said that, and this kind of targeting, saying that the elites were behind it. I don't know if there's other knowledge they have about, but some of the basic question is, what's the money behind this, right? This obviously was an operation that cost money to hire these people, and I guess that's the real question.
So the Haitians have figured out, for the time being, some sort of leadership structure about who's going to be in charge. I guess until they have another election. Mm-hmm. Does it feel like Haiti is stabling itself after this assassination, or should we look forward to more unrest and volatility in the country in the coming weeks and months?
I mean, unfortunately, I think the basic political impasse hasn't really changed. The people who are now in power, with the support of the U.S. and foreign countries, so Ariel Henry in particular as prime minister, are part of the same group. They're part of the same kind of clique, let's say, around Moïse. They're people who worked with him. So from a larger perspective, a lot of people don't see it as fundamentally a different regime, right? And the basic question, which is they're supposed to set up elections But how are those elections going to work? Is there really an election that's going to be something where there can be true popular participation? Moïse had let the terms of senators expire, so there's really not a functioning Senate. So there's been a limitation there. And so you really have, I mean, the whole process over the last years has been kind of narrowing the number of people who have power. And now I guess the hope would be that it's an opportunity for a kind of reconstruction of civil society, a process of really a truer democracy. Elections are only one piece of democratic participation, right? And so just having elections is not sufficient if those elections aren't anchored in a kind of larger context. So there are lots of proposals on the table. There is a robust opposition proposing approaches, but whether those come to pass, I think it's really too early to tell.
Do you believe that the U.S.'s participation so far has been appropriate, and more broadly, the international response has been appropriate?
I think it's been pretty predictable. The U.S. has essentially stood behind Moïse despite really intense opposition. They saw him, I think, as the kind of maybe the best option or a stabilizing force. And now they've stood behind essentially members of his government staying in power. The U.S. always plays a huge role behind the scenes in political power in Haiti. I think the real question now is there's a kind of opportunity right now to rethink Haiti policy, just as there is with regards to Cuba, right? You have these two places where I think U.S. policy has in some ways been stuck in a certain kind of cycle and defined by certain fears and so forth. There is maybe an opportunity for some new thinking. I don't know if that's happening behind the scenes, but if we don't get some change, I think we're going to unfortunately find the same results.
Laurent Dubois, thank you so much for your time, sir. Really appreciate the insights. Your Black History Moment is next.